Thank you, ma'am. Part 3. The woman was sitting on the daybed. After a while, she said, I were young once and wanted things I could not get. There was another long pause. The boy's mouth opened. Then he frowned, but not knowing he frowned. The woman said, You thought I was going to say, but didn't you? You thought I was going to say, but I didn't snatch people's pocketbooks. Well, I wasn't going to say that. Pause. Silence. I have done things too, which I would not tell you, son, neither tell God if he didn't already know. So you sit down while I fix us something to eat. You might run that comb through your hair so you will look presentable. In another corner of the room behind a screen was a gas plate and an icebox. Mrs. Jones got up and went behind the screen. The woman did not watch the boy to see if he was going to run now, nor did she watch her purse, which she left behind her on the daybed. But the boy took care to sit on the far side of the room, where he thought she could easily see him out of the corner of her eye, if she wanted to. He did not trust the woman not to trust him, and he did not want to be mistrusted now. Do you need somebody to go to the store? Asked the boy. Maybe to get some milk or something? Don't believe I do, said the woman, unless you just want sweet milk yourself. I was going to make cocoa out of this canned milk I got here. That will be fine, said the boy. She heated some lima beans and ham she had in the icebox, made the cocoa, and set the table. The woman did not ask the boy anything about where he lived, or his folks, or anything else that would embarrass him. Instead, as they ate, she told him about her job in a hotel beauty shop that stayed open late, what the work was like, and how all kinds of women came in and out, blondes, redheads, and Spanish. Then she cut him a half of her 10-cent cake. Eat some more, son, she said. When they finished eating, she got up and said, Now, here, take this $10 and buy yourself some blue suede shoes. And next time, do not make the mistake of latching onto my pocketbook, nor nobody else's, because shoes come by devilish like that will burn your feet. I got to get my rest now, but I wish you would behave yourself, son, from here on in. She led him down the hall to the front door and opened it. Good night. Behave yourself, boy, she said, looking out into the street. The boy wanted to say something else other than thank you, ma'am, to Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones, but he couldn't do so as he turned at the barren stoop and looked back at the large woman in the door. He barely managed to say thank you before she shut the door, and he never saw her again. Number 6. What did the boy offer to buy? What did the boy offer to buy at the store? A. Milk. B. Beans. C. Cocoa. D. Ice. Number 7. Reread paragraphs 1 to 3. How does the author use Mrs. Jones' speech to affect the reader's understanding of her character? A. Readers learn that she also used to snatch people's pocketbooks. B. Readers can infer that Mrs. Jones wants to help the boy because she also once made mistakes trying to get things she did not have. C. Readers learn that Mrs. Jones has many secrets to keep. D. Readers can infer that Mrs. Jones never tried to steal from other people even when she was in need. E. The events show that the boy now wanted Mrs. Jones to trust him. F. The events show that Mrs. Jones stopped watching the boy because she did not care. F. The events show that Mrs. Jones stopped watching the boy because she did not care. G. The actions show that the boy became afraid that Mrs. Jones would call the police. D. The actions show that Mrs. Jones decided she did not trust the boy after all. Number 8. What is the author's main purpose of paragraphs 8 through 11? A. To show how Mrs. Jones did not really forgive the boy for trying to steal. B. To show how Mrs. Jones treated the boy even after he did not deserve it. C. To name the delicious food that Mrs. Jones prepared for the boy. D. To encourage readers not to steal by telling about the consequences. Number 9. Which of these best describes why the author chose the title, Thank You, Ma'am, for this story? A. The title lets readers know that the story is about having manners and saying please and thank you. B. The title shows how the story is about a boy who finds many ways to show he is thankful for Mrs. Jones. C. The title was chosen to match the first line of dialogue in the story. D. The title reflects the boy's changed feelings toward Mrs. Jones by the end of the story.